Hi, Sarah Mack here from withsarahmack.com, and gather round, children, while I tell you a little story about how I used to suck at launching and what changed and how I got good at it. How I went from sucking to great and good at making consistent money in my business, selling shit online. So, and I've been through a couple of like bumpy phases with this. So I see my patterns of like what happens when I succeed and when I don't succeed as much, what wasn't happening. And one of the biggest pitfalls for me in the beginning, and that, is still something that really helps me to this day, is having deadlines. And I've sold open enrollment things that don't have deadlines in terms of doors closing, but actually having internal deadlines with myself for my launches. And often those will, coincide with external deadlines like early bird pricing going away or, doors closing on an offer. And so I find working that way really helpful, and here's why. Number one, it gives me something specific to communicate that, gives people an incentive, like this is going away. And I don't, that's how I run most of my programs. Usually my only open enrollment is my one-on-one, if there's space, and Freedom Club, my mastermind. So if I have a deadline and I don't communicate it, that's me not following through on my launch. And so having those deadlines throughout the launch helps me to see, am I following through on my launch or not? And how fully am I following through on it? Because every time I set a plan and then I follow through on it, guess what? It works. And here's the thing about launches is you don't know that it's worked until the end. So the only way to find out if it's gonna work is to actually see it through till the end and give it your best shot until the end. And I find that this is really the difference. It's like, if I got distracted or I procrastinated or I allowed the resistance to take over and I didn't follow through on the things I said I was gonna do, then that's more reason for me to be in a story of like, oh, this isn't gonna work. But when I'm focused on like meeting those deadlines that I've set for myself to create feedback for myself so that I can see if I'm following through on what I said I was gonna do. And obviously like business has been a huge journey of building self-trust for me. As somebody who had like an ADHD diagnosis, like actually following through on things was something that I didn't do a lot in my very early stages of being an entrepreneur. And this has been like the main skill for me that has obviously produced the results of having a 6-figure business and being able to sign clients every month. So what this has really been about for me is a case of not following through on what I said I was gonna do. Because and here's the key, is deciding, setting it, and then following through on it. Because if you haven't set something, if you're wavering on like what you're selling, price point, like any details about the offer, any details about the launch, all of that energy is like distracting you from just taking action that's going to lead you to serve people and get paid. So once you set those really simple, like basic deadlines, like for me, it's usually an early bird, some type of like audience growth event, and then doors closing, if it's a live program or if it's a special offer or, I've opened doors on something for a limited time. So if I just commit to that and communicate that and do what I know to do to create sales content that sells, then I'm going to figure the rest out on the way. Like whatever bits and pieces I need to set up and figure out, like contract, payment links, all the other social media strategy, how I'm going to get my VAs to help me, like all of that stuff just gets figured out one step at a time along the way, as long as that really simple and basic structure of a deadline has been set for me. And this is not about doing it perfectly at all, because I think there's two different ways that you could approach this. One of them would be like, I'm gonna plan every single step, and if I don't meet every single step, then I failed and it's not gonna work. So this is actually about setting bare minimums. Like, what is the bare minimum number of times I'm gonna show up on social and sell? And doing my best, It's like, my best is I'm gonna show up every day, Monday to Friday, and sell my offer. Like, there's really no excuse not to, unless I'm sick or I'm really tired, in which case I can also just repurpose something that I shared a couple of weeks ago or a few days ago. So this is about me doing my best, me giving it my best shot without burning out. So this is not about ticking all the boxes, doing all the things and being a perfect good girl for my launch, because you can't get what you want in a way that you don't want it. I have to run my business in a way that feels good to me, otherwise it won't work, because that's just the contract I have with the universe, apparently. So, this is a skill. Like, launching is a skill, selling is a skill. And I've always just used coaching programs as a way to make that commitment and to support myself to build this skill and to follow through and to just have someone there to help me get out of my head and to have a network and a support system. So I'll go in with that intention. I know what I want. I know what my next goal is, my next milestone. I know what I'm selling and what I would like to sell if I haven't locked in the offer completely. And the way I show up is fully all in. I show up, if I joined a container, I show up 95% of the time. I use the support, I lean on the support, I use the space to find clarity on what I need and to refocus on what I want regularly. That's literally the most valuable thing I believe we can use coaching containers for, is to refocus on what we want and to be really invested in focusing on what it is that we desire enough to be taking action, to actually consistently be moving towards it day after day. Also, it's a great space when you're with others, because when other people are holding the vision for you, to set intentions and to share that and to vocalize that with as many people as possible who you feel it's safe to, share that with. It's a way of, again, training focus. And then really just doing one needle forward action a day. So whatever my next thing is, I need to create copy for the sign up page for my free event. I need to create some copy for some Instagram slides. I need to go live and talk about my offer today. One thing a day, and that's on top of selling every day, Monday to Friday. And I take sales generating actions as my number one priority. And then anything else I get done that day is a bonus. So if I want to take the rest of the day off to go and sit in the park and write my book, if those two things are done, I know that my business is good and I'm going to make money this month and next month. And also, equally important launch strategy is prioritizing self-care every day. So it's a non-negotiable for me to keep to my boundaries around work. I never work late, and very rarely on weekends, unless I really want to, because that allows me to recharge. And these are the habits that have created consistency for me over the past 5 years in running my coaching business. And there is so much room for flexibility in all of this. Some of these things take a few minutes or under an hour. And I know that when I commit to what works with consistency, I can have the freedom to experiment and to play with other strategies and projects as and when I feel inspired in between these non-negotiables. But nothing ever bumps these off my priority list. Nothing. And if I don't have creative juice or time or space to create something that day for sales content, I'll repurpose and schedule something. It's really not hard to have something go out every day. So another habit that has been really, really, really helpful and that I'm continually intentionally getting better and better at and maintaining as much as possible is closing the gap between getting an idea and taking action on it. I don't sit on things for long. I mean, I could be faster. There's definitely room for improvement and speed. I'm a bit of a tortoise in some ways. I definitely take my time and go at my own pace. I'm not gonna pull a 15-hour day, because I have so many creative ideas, like that can wait until tomorrow or the next day. You know, I'm still like recovering from long COVID. I don't like nothing after somebody who's been through a burnout. I'm like, nothing is worth depleting my energy because it's unsustainable, right? And there's payback always. We always have to pay back that energy and recharge and recuperate. So I'm very like consistent. And I'm always working to move and stay in momentum. And really this is about spending more time getting things done than like thinking about it or journaling about it or worrying about it or being in resistance around it, to just get, you know, that impulse of like, oh, I feel the resistance, but like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do one small thing to like get that thing in motion, because then it feels better and it's way more fun. We'll get back to the episode in a moment, but first I want to tell you how I went from wondering if anyone would ever pay me thousands of dollars for my support with mindset coaching to consistently signing dream clients paying me prices like 3K, 10K, 15K and more. Learning how to tell my story online is what has made the biggest difference and has led me to making 6 figures, working with clients I adore, while traveling to 18 different countries, writing a book, and recording songs for an album. Freedom Club is my year-long mastermind where I teach you how to do it too. By mastering 6-figure storytelling and a simple content strategy, I went from hearing no at the end of every sales call to signing 5-figure dream clients in my DMs with ease. And from a $0 launch to consistently signing soulmate clients every month organically through social media. I went from undercharging, overworking, and overthinking my prices to receiving $1,000 to 5 figures for my coaching programs and creating so much freedom to rest, play, create, and adventure in my dream life and business. Freedom Club is now open for enrollment. It's high-touch daily support for you and your business, with a one-on-one kickoff call to get crystal clear on exactly how to attract the perfect fit clients into your high ticket offer through your storytelling. You also get daily access to tailored support in our group Voxer Chat, where you'll feel supported, seen, and inspired by our intimate community of heart-centered creative entrepreneurs. Plus, twice each month, you'll have hot seat coaching with me in our group coaching calls to dive deep into content edits, mindset shifts, energy management habits, launch strategy, or any back-end business support you need. And you'll have VIP access to my extensive training vault on everything you need to run a 6-figure coaching business, from content and social media strategy to money mindset, sales trainings, and lean team building, plus free access to any live programs or masterclasses I run throughout the year. This is the long-term foundational support to take your dream coaching business to 6 figures. Now you know you're ready to help more people with your incredible work by focusing on high ticket sales. You can apply today at withsarahmac.com/freedom club. So another habit is that I learn every day, but I do not spend hours and hours and hours consuming content daily. Like, I'm on a content diet. I go on social media to create and to engage. I don't go on social to scroll and consume. I don't go on before my morning routine or after 8:30 p.m. at night when I go screen free to wind down for bed. Occasionally I will watch TV a little bit later. But I do have like screen free, TV free evenings to just like read and journal, have a bath, chill, and not just be consuming, because I definitely go through phases of like doing that a lot. You know, it's like a very popular addiction that I think we're all experiencing in this day and age. So, you know, I know if I lapse into a period of that, usually if I'm like avoiding feeling something challenging, or I have anxiety around something, or I'm just exhausted or feeling like socially disconnected or isolated, I know, you know, and it can feel really difficult to put these boundaries in. But when I do, it just creates so much creativity. I get so much energy back and I get so much positive momentum. So this is kind of becoming a non-negotiable for me. And I'm observing, like, if I fall off the wagon, it's like, it's not worth it to me anymore. Because media consumption has a huge impact on our mood and our creativity. And your creativity is your greatest asset. So take really good care of it, and your life will be a whole lot more fun, and your business will work at like whole other levels. So I was also doing some reflection on commonalities of clients who succeed in their launches. Like, what are some of the common factors? Because, it's so normal when you're creating something new and you're launching, or like you're in the early stages of your launch and you're in the gap between having your idea, putting yourself out there, putting things in motion, and then waiting for the evidence to land, waiting for the results to come in. And that period is like, that's the most challenging part of entrepreneurship, where all of your insecurities and those like inner voices and emotional patterns of like, what if I discover I'm not good enough? What if I'm a complete public failure? Like the fears that we, resist doing the thing for long enough in the first place. This is like where you're going to have the birth of fire, enter entrepreneurship, and all of your shit that gets to go is going to come up for you to process. And your ability to hold that gap is what is going to determine your ability to stay in the game until you get the results that you want, whether that takes 1 launch or 2 launches or 3 launches or a year or 2 years. I've never seen it take that long. But here's a mindset for you, is your next client can sign up tomorrow, or that same client or another client could sign up next year or in 2 years. And, I've seen that in my world. Like, people come in, find me, immediately sign up, and then someone who's been in my world for years finally becomes a client. So this is really the mindset to bring to your launch, is I'm going to show up and give it my best for the client who's ready to sign up today. And I'm going to keep going for the client who's ready to sign up in 2 years. Like, that is the mindset. That is how you want to manage your perspective. You want to manage your thoughts. You want to manage your energy. Really being in it for the long haul. And also knowing that results can happen today. Because with that mindset, you're more likely to create results today than if you're like, oh, this is taking forever. Or I'm just like getting ready for my results, which are going to come in the future when I'm like more ready and better than I am now. So the mindset that you don't want is like, why not? Why isn't this working? Why has no one bought yet? What's wrong with my content? Why have none of the people who have reached out signed up? And this is gonna suck your energy and is gonna lead to you not following through. It's gonna lead to this launch not being fun. So this is the single most important thing that you can focus on to succeed in your launches and in entrepreneurship in general, is the mindset that it is working. It's all working. Just you showing up and creating and inviting people in, like, it's working. The fact that you showed up means that it's working, even if nobody's reached out yet. Like, maybe that's landing with that client who's gonna sign up in 2 years. Maybe that's landing with that client who's gonna sign up tomorrow. You don't have control over that. All you have control over is to keep showing up and doing the thing. So when people show up and reach out, but they don't buy, it can be easy to see that as evidence that it's not working. But my invitation is to flip it on its head and see it as evidence that it is working. People are reaching out, people are listening. This is landing with people. This is cultivating people's desire. Even if they don't end up working with you, for every person that reaches out, there are like 5 to 10 more people that are thinking about it. So being in the mindset of like, I'm doing it, I'm committed, I'm following through, like I will continue past the finish line until I hit my result. If I don't hit my result in this launch, then I will relaunch again and do it even better next time and get even better results. That is the mindset that will produce that result for you. And then when the discomfort comes up, which it inevitably will, when the challenges come up, when the disappointments happen, like you get a no on a sales call, or you get ghosted by a client, which if you work on your storytelling, won't happen. But there's a lot of mindset work behind that as well, right? And what you believe and what you're a stand for and what you're available for and what you're not available for and the actions that you take to back that. So seeing, and this is just a natural part of growth and entrepreneurship, like everybody goes through it, right? Like every artist who's released an album has created a shitty first song. Every entrepreneur who's making millions of dollars has heard a ton of no's and been through disappointments and failures. So every challenge that comes up, the mindset isn't what's wrong. The mindset is what's the lesson? Like, what can I do better next time? How can I improve? How can I integrate this? How can I reflect and get feedback from what has happened so that I can do even better next time? Like, that is the attitude where every single move you make is better than the last move that you made. That's going to create momentum and spiraling results of more and more and more success. And that's not to say that there won't be dips and there won't be continued challenges and even bigger lessons. That's entrepreneurship. It's all a part of it. So having the mindset that's comfortable being uncomfortable, that has full faith in your result, even if it looks like it's not happening, and who's like 100% committed to your desires. Because if you're in this business, if you're a coach, if you're a healer, if you're a creative, like, this is just your dharma. Like, this is what you're here to do. This is your calling. It's not going away. Even if you're like, oh, this sucks, why don't I just go and get a job? Or you have those types of thoughts. Like, no. What is meant for you is going to come about in one way or another. So you might as well surrender to that and move through the discomfort of doing the thing that you really want to do versus the discomfort of resisting it. Like, those are really, as I see it, are only two choices in this life. So that's the mindset. And the action is sell consistently. If you want to make more money, if you want to work with more people and have more sales, sell consistently. Like, get good at selling. Don't make excuses for why you're not good at selling, and just get good at selling. Like, it's a simple skill, like learning to brush your teeth. Just do it, get it done, and the money results will show you how good you really are at it, and keep at it until the results land. So the other thing that's obviously non-negotiable is doing the work to create a clear message that clearly communicates the result clients actually want that your offers help them to create. And you'll know when that's working when you're making money from clients that you're excited to work with. That other actions are deciding on the plan and following through. And that's really key. Again, decide and then follow through. Not wing it, throw spaghetti at the wall, change your mind when things aren't going well, and like change your message halfway through. Like, no, decide on your offer, decide on your message, decide on your strategy, like the bare minimum that feels doable to you no matter what life throws your way. And that can be like sell 3 times a week, if that's where you're at right now. And keep going and do it and follow through and give it your best shot. And that gets to be good enough, like it gets to work. So keep going, even with life's ups and downs. The clients who have successful launches cross the finish line. Sounds simple, but I've done it and I see clients do it all the time. It's like, you just didn't create a plan and you didn't follow through. That's literally the only thing standing between you and the clients and the money that you want. And then if you create a plan and follow through and it didn't work, you're going to get the lessons of, you know, you're going to have the evidence that you can look back on and we can look back on together to see, okay, cool, what did you actually follow through on? And if this isn't landing, why not? You know, and look at the other pieces of your business so you can add them in to your next launch and continue to do that until you succeed and you succeed and you succeed. And the next thing that's so important and a quality of clients who succeed is they celebrate. They celebrate. And this is something that I cultivate. This is like honestly the most valuable thing to cultivate in coaching containers, because we're not good at it. Like, we're brainwashed into diminishing ourselves. And that is like our natural repetitive thought pattern that we've inherited from like hundreds of years of ancestors who were taught to do the same. And so this is like an active training, retraining. It's a reconditioning to celebrate. This is working. I'm fucking awesome. Everything I'm doing is great. It's all adding up. I'm so focused on my vision. I'm so committed and connected to my desire. Everything is working. I am amazing. Celebrate. Like, the energy that happens when you commit to that very, very small, consistent habit is massive momentum and magnetism and energy to find momentum and ease in following through on the actions that will produce the results. And then, my clients who get the results they want, they lean on support, they set intentions each week, and they stay focused on those intentions. They show up for the calls, they share their wins, they share when they're going through life stuff so they can feel seen and supported, versus like disappearing or, trying to go through things alone, or making it mean that it's a reason that they can't continue and that their business can't support them financially in the ways that, if that's your vision, if your vision is for your business to support you, your vision is for your business to support you through every part of life. Life isn't just going to stop and suddenly go perfectly for you so that you can have your business. Like, business gets to be there while shit is hitting the fan, while you go through health stuff, while you go through family stuff, while you go through life stuff, moves, like freaking global pandemics. Your business gets to remain consistent and support you in the ways that are really good for you. That gets to be the vision. So I hope you have picked up some takeaways today to reflect on, like, what haven't you been doing? That, if you leaned into that with a little bit more commitment, you could bet that your results are going to go through the roof. So if you know that this is something that you are ready for support with, then I'm very excited to announce that Freedom Club, which is my mastermind, is open for enrollment. And this is the place to really master six-figure storytelling, to enroll dream clients into your high ticket coaching offers every month. So go to withsarahmac.com/freedom club to apply. And of course, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Please follow my behind the scenes on my stories on Instagram at Creative Magic Club, and let me know any shifts or breakthroughs that happen for you as a result of listening to this. So I'm sending you so much love. Have an amazing day. Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com, and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.